أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي ibn الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. For the hastening of the reappearance of our Master Imam Zaman, please recite one loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farajah. Some of you may be wondering why we are speaking about attacks on the family. Shouldn't we be speaking about Muharram? Shouldn't we be speaking about the tragedy of Karbala? Shouldn't we be speaking about the suffering of Imam Hussein? Let's think about that. Perhaps these are the very things that would deeply concern Imam Hussein. Perhaps these are the things he would want us to recognize and to protect ourselves and our families from. And with that in mind, I would like to speak about an attack that is extremely serious, but not always obvious. It isn't the type of attack that breaks a family overnight. It doesn't always make noise. Often you cannot point at it and say clearly, there, that is the problem. The most dangerous attacks move slowly and quietly. They reshape what we think is normal. They influence what we desire, what we respect, and what we celebrate as success. They change who our children listen to, who they imitate, and ultimately what kind of human beings grow up inside our homes. And here is a question I want us all to honestly reflect on today. Are our children truly being shaped by us? Or are they simply sleeping in our homes, eating our food, wearing the clothes we provide, while their hearts, their minds, their values and desires are being formed somewhere else? As uncomfortable as it might be to admit, this has become common. A child can live in our house and still be shaped elsewhere. And if we fail to recognize this, we will mistakenly believe the family is safe just because we share the same surname, the same address, and the same Wi-Fi password. But that is not enough. A family is not just people living under one roof. A family is meant to be the very first school of character, responsibility, gratitude, truth, purpose, and love. So when the home stops fulfilling this role, something else will certainly take its place. That is the attack. Let us start with religion. This is about more than being Muslim, Shia, or religious. This is about morality and the kind of people we are becoming. Everyone claims to have values. People say, I believe in kindness. I believe in honesty. I believe in family. Beautiful words. But if these values do not change how we live, then they are only slogans. For us here today, this issue is critical. One subtle attack on religion is not to erase it completely. Instead, religion is kept as a label but drained of its real power. We still say, I am Muslim, I am Shia, I attend majlis, I pray, I fast, I recite dua. But we have to honestly ask, does our religion shape our speech, our temper, our marriage, our family duties, and how we treat those weaker than us? Or has religion become something we only wear on the outside? After all, a person can look religious and still be difficult to live with. A person can pray long prayers and still be rude. A person can recite many du'as and still be dishonest. And when children see this, they notice it quickly. They say, my father prays, but look at his anger. My mother attends majlis, but listen to how she speaks. Slowly the child loses respect, not just for the person, but also for the religion that person represents. That is dangerous. The attack isn't only prayer, dua or majlis. The attack takes place when these practices become disconnected from the inner change they should create. Prayer should humble us. Fasting should teach self-control. Du'as should soften the heart. Majlis should encourage truth, patience and sacrifice. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So if our worship doesn't improve who we are at home, then we have misunderstood worship itself. The first place religion should be seen is not the mosque, it's the home. If religion and values are not lived at home, what happens next? We start looking for others to do the job we neglected. We hand over the guidance of our children to other people and say, the mosque will guide them. The Islamic school will teach them. The weekly Quran class will fix them. But even at their best, these things can only support what is already being built at home, cannot replace the home. They were never meant to replace the home. No institution can replace the daily moral atmosphere of the home. One class a week cannot compete with what a child sees every day. One lecture cannot fix a home where money is the real qibla. One majlis cannot undo a home where parents show through their daily actions that career, income and status is more important than truth, humility and responsibility. Children may not understand everything that we say, but they understand what we live. They copy what we make time for. They copy what we respect. They copy what we chase. They copy our tone, our habits, and our mistakes. Parents are the first teachers. Before blaming society, we should first ask, what are our children learning from us? From our behaviors? From our priorities? From our conversations? From what we praise, tolerate, and chase? And of course, the home is not the only influence. Other environments shape children too, especially school. When we speak about school, we must understand this. School is not only where children learn English, maths, and science. It also teaches them how to see the world. What counts as real? What counts as important? What counts as success? What counts as truth? And what place God has in ordinary life? Much of modern education is built on a secular frame. The world is explained, but God is removed from the explanation. Facts are given, but purpose is often missing. Knowledge is separated from right and wrong. So if a child spends years absorbing the idea that life can be understood without God, that success means career, income and status, and that right and wrong is whatever society currently accepts, then we should not be surprised when God becomes an add-on rather than the lens through which life is seen. And this problem does not disappear just because a school has Islamic in its name. Quran and Islamic studies are important, but if religion becomes only one subject on the timetable, it will not shape the whole child. If a school produces children who are clever but not wise, employable but without values, confident but not humble, ambitious but not grateful, then something important is missing. Education should not only ask, what job will this child get? It should more importantly ask, what kind of human being is this child becoming? since school does not only teach children what to know, it also teaches them how to see. However, school is not just a classroom, it is a society. Children are influenced by their friends, by what gets laughed at, by what gets praised, and by who is popular. A child may know something is wrong and still do it anyway because they do not want to be laughed at, left out, called weird, or treated as different. Every school has its own language, status system, heroes, jokes, punishments, and rewards. So when parents say, "My child is only going there to learn," we must ask, learn what? Maths, English, and science? Yes. But also what is normal, funny, acceptable, attractive, embarrassing, shameful, and cool. Your child is not only being taught by teachers, your child is being formed by the social world around them. And we must accept something that many parents have not fully accepted. School today is not the school we remember. Many parents are still imagining school as it was 20 or 30 years ago. They remember books, teachers, classrooms, break time, homework, and friends. So they say, "We went to school and we were fine." But we have to be honest. This is not the same environment anymore. The building may look the same. The uniform may look the same. The timetable may look the same. But the world inside that environment has changed. Today, any child can carry the whole outside world in their pocket. And one child's phone can bring into the playground things that no parent would ever allow into the home. A child can be shown the most disturbing things. Not love, not romance, not something innocent, but filthy and degrading videos that no person, let alone a young and innocent mind, should ever see. They can be shown cruelty, humiliation, self-harm, extreme violence, drugs and ideas that confuse the heart and corrupt the mind. And now, with artificial intelligence and other forms of generated content, the things being shared are becoming stranger, more disturbing, and even harder to recognize. And this exposure does not need a long plan. It does not need an adult predator. It does not need a dark alley. Sometimes it is as simple as one child saying to another, "Come and look at this." It can happen on the walk to school. It can happen in the playground. It can happen in the toilets. It can happen in a group of friends. It can happen in a few seconds. So when we speak about school, we are not only speaking about maths, English, science, and grades. We are speaking about classmates. We are speaking about what becomes normal before a child is even old enough to recognize what has entered their mind. And this is the point we need to feel. The danger is not only that children may copy something wrong. The deeper danger is that they may stop recognizing it as wrong. After all of this, we need to ask a question. Why are our children in school? Not is it a good school, not are the grades good, but a deeper question. Why have we chosen to send them to school? Education is a duty. A child must be educated. But schooling is only one method. Schooling is not the same as education. Education is a legal and moral requirement. School is not. When people think something is unavoidable, they stop taking responsibility for it. They say, "What choice do we have? Everyone does it. This is just normal life." But if something is a choice, then we are responsible for that choice. Now, I am not saying that every family must live the same way, but I do want to remove one excuse. The excuse that we had no choice. Every path has consequences, and parents must feel the full weight of the path they have chosen. Because our children are not our property to do what we like with them. They are an amanat. They have been placed in our care by Allah. And even from a universal point of view, any decent human being understands this. A child is a trust. A child is not a project for our ego. A child is not an accessory to our lifestyle. A child is a soul, a heart, a mind, a human being. We are responsible for their hearts, their minds, their morals, their environment, and their future. And we are answerable for that responsibility in this life before the next. We will have to live with the human being we helped form. We will have to live with their wounds, with their confusion, with their distance, with their weakness, or their strength. And after all of that, we will then have to stand before Allah too. So we cannot say, I didn't know. We cannot say, everyone did it. We cannot say, I never thought about it. We cannot say, I was busy. We cannot say, this is just how life is. Because the purpose of this world is not simply to climb the worldly ladder. This world is a school for the soul. And we are here to learn truth, kindness, humility, patience, responsibility, and closeness to Allah. So every parent must ask, is the path I have chosen helping my child to become that kind of human being? And if not, then at least we must be honest. It is not because we had no choice. Now, let us talk about another attack on the family, materialism. This one looks normal. It looks like ambition. It looks like wanting the best. It looks like providing. But slowly, it changes the family's idea of success. People buy things not because they need them, but because other people have them. Because the child asks for them. Because other children have them. Because we do not want our children to feel left out. Because we do not want people to think we are behind. And so a child does not just need shoes, they need that brand. A family does not just need a car, they need a car people will respect. A couple does not just need a house, they need a house that proves something. Even children's clothes, bags, toys, and gadgets become part of a silent competition. And we call this love. We say, I just want the best for my child. But sometimes what we really mean is, I don't want my child to be the only one without it. Sometimes that is fear. Sometimes that is image. Sometimes that is surrender. Because not everything a child wants is good for the child. Not everything that other children have is right for your child. And not every expectation deserves to be fulfilled. This is how wants become needs. This is how comparison replaces gratitude. This is how families start living for others instead of living for themselves. And then comes the next problem, cost. The lifestyle becomes expensive. The house, the cars, the clothes, the holidays, the restaurants, the image, all of it costs money. And when the lifestyle costs more, People have to work more. They become more tired, more stressed, and less available for the home. So we have to ask, are we really living for ourselves and our families? Or are we living for corporations? They sell us a lifestyle, and then we have to work longer hours to afford it. Then we become too tired to build the family the lifestyle was supposed to serve. That is the trap. Work is honorable. Providing is important. But the attack takes place when work stops serving the family and the family starts serving work. Some families say they are working for their children while building a lifestyle that takes them away from their children. The question is not only how much money enters the home. The more important question is, what leaves the home in order to earn it? Did peace leave? Did gratitude leave? Did family time leave? Did our morals and values leave? If the answer is yes, then we have to be brave enough to question the lifestyle. A family should not sacrifice its soul to maintain its image. A family can become poor in peace, time, and gratitude because it is trying to look rich in front of people. So what do we do with all of this? The purpose is to wake us up. The defense is to stop living on autopilot. Families do not collapse in one big dramatic moment. They are broken down slowly by small compromises, repeated excuses, and choices we kept calling normal. We keep the label of religion but lose its reality. We hand over the tarbiyat of our children to other people and institutions. We send children into environments without fully considering what those environments are doing. We chase lifestyles that cost more than money. We call ourselves busy while the home becomes weaker. Years later, we ask, what happened? What happened is that our families were under attack, but we did not recognize the battlefield. So let us not leave here comfortable. Let us leave responsible. Who is forming our children? What is our home teaching without words? What have we outsourced? What are we calling normal that shouldn't be normal? What are we calling success that may actually be harming us? But questions alone are not enough. Every family must leave with a decision that costs something. Not an emotional promise, but a real change. Review the environment shaping your children. Reduce the lifestyle stealing your time. Take back a responsibility you have outsourced. Make one decision your future self will remember and one day your children will thank you for. Because the goal is not just to raise children who get good grades and earn money. The goal is to raise human beings with a conscience. Human beings who know truth from falsehood. Human beings who can stand firm in a corrupt world without being swallowed by it. So we must stop outsourcing our children's upbringing. We must stop reducing our values to labels. We must stop confusing schooling with education. We must stop sacrificing the home for image. We must rebuild the family as the very first school of character, responsibility, gratitude, truth, purpose, and love. Because the family is not just a social unit, it is a place where human beings are made. And with that, may we please end with a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala
آجین در ظهور امام زمان